to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Good morning, CSL. We are glad that you are here. We are here, but you are there. We are here, but you are there. But you are actually here with us in spirit, and we feel it. I say take a good drink of water, because I'm betting you've got some coffee or some juice nearby. Take a good drink, wet your palate. Get ready to sing this song. Sing it like you wrote it, all right? I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Good morning, CSL. I'm Kathy Baughman. One of your practitioners. And the core value for this month is abundance. CSL's definition of abundance is that the universe is a lavish and rich place. It is filled with abundance. You are heir to this entire state. And the quote I have today is from Wayne Dyer, and it is, abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. And if you would like to close your eyes while I say this prayer, you're welcome to. I take a deep breath. There is one abundant source in this universe. This great spirit is filled with unending goodness. It is all-knowing, all-giving, all-providing, and all-loving. It is endless possibility, infinite peace, and boundless comfort. Spirit is everywhere at all times. I was created by love, as love, made of source substance and imbued with every divine quality. I am an individual center of God consciousness. My birthright is to function as spirit according to divine creativity. It is Spirit's great pleasure that I experience absolute happiness and fulfillment. I am a recipient of the abundance and harmony of Spirit's love. My life is filled with kindness, compassion, and peace. Whatever solution is needed arises effortlessly and at the perfect time. I open myself to the divine flow of love. and I am open to abundance in all possible ways. I am thankful for all the awareness of the avenues available to me on my path to easy abundance. I am grateful for the divine love in my life, which makes everything possible. And I release these words of truth to the universal law where they are already manifest. And together, and so it is.
Again, this has always been a song that I've loved to sing as I've been seeing people around me just trying their best to stay healthy, stay masked, stay sanitized, stay wiped, stay everything. So hopefully you're at home feeling healed, whole, and healthy at this time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well, I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. All is well, all is well. I am healed. Yeah, I am whole. We must take precautions.
Thank you, Lee. Wow, it is that time of year. It's the giving season. It's the season of abundance. And every year for the past 10 years, CSL has done our annual giving tree. And every year I am completely blown away by the amount, the abundance of gifts and giving that this community does. And again, this year we're doing our giving tree back here, but it doesn't have the pretty paper ornaments that it has had in the past. This year we are using the Sign Up Genius. The Sign Up Genius link can be found on the website. It can also be found in the newsletter that was sent out to you, and you can check Facebook for details and that information as well. You simply go on to this app, you look at the list of gifts that are being asked for, just like the ornaments on the tree. Sorry, brain dead a moment. And once you choose the gift that you would like to donate, you click on the little box and it will ask you for your name and email address, and you just follow the instructions, and it's as easy as that. We do have scheduled drop-off times here coming up this next week, starting after the 13th. I think around the 13th, I'm sorry. Numbers are too many in my head right now. After the 13th, check that list. Make sure that you drop it off at one of the appropriate times. We will be sorting the gifts and getting everything delivered before the holidays. So we appreciate all of your help that you've given in the past and everything that you'll be doing again this year. I forgot to tell you, my name is Debbie Gaunt, and it is my job to welcome you to today's service. I am so glad that all of you are here. It seems like forever since I have been here, and I am just so grateful that we are again able to get together in some fashion. And as I stand here, I'm visualizing all of you sitting out there, and it brings me such joy. So together, let's stand if you wish. Otherwise, let's state our intention statement about who we are. We are a diverse and inclusive spiritual community expressing God as love. Welcome.
Thanks, Debbie. Good morning, everybody. However you are joining us, whether it is on Zoom or Facebook, we're on YouTube now, so maybe you're finding us there, or on our website, our audio podcast. So there's 4 ways for you to connect and listen in and join in with us. However you're doing that, we appreciate it so much. We love knowing that you're there, receiving your all of your comments and your feedback. So it's our joy and our pleasure to do this for you. As Debbie said, so it still feels like we are still connected in some ways as best we can. So I want to start by saying to all of our Jewish friends at CSL and anyone listening in who is part of the Jewish tradition and to the Jewish faith, we want to say Happy Hanukkah to you. Hanukkah started on Thursday evening, December the 10th, and it will go through Friday the 18th. So one of the things that we do here at CSL that's important to us is to honor world traditions. So we try the best we can to remember those holidays and special events and rituals of the religions of the world, and to bring those up and celebrate them and honor them with you who follow those traditions. So I've got the menorah here. I'm going to be lighting that during meditation and having a meditation around the meaning of menorah right after the lesson. So our theme in December is radical spirit, living a life of freedom and authenticity. And I started the lesson last week with this, but I wanted to start this week with it as well. And it's to tell you that 65 years ago, on December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks made civil rights history by getting on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama with the sole purpose of going home after work. So it had just been a regular day, and she was going about her routine. After work, going and getting on the bus. But it seems that history had another idea than just another routine day. One thing to note about this event is that bus drivers in Montgomery, Alabama were allowed to assign people seats, but they were not allowed to ask them to get up and give up their seat. So when Rosa was asked to give up her seat for a white man to be seated, she refused. And the long and short of a very inspirational story is that the police came, she was arrested, and she became part of civil rights history. But it was in that moment of choice, and we all have those moments of choice. But her moment of choice was, what would she do? And how would she respond? Would she get up out of her seat, or would she stay seated? And when she decided to stay seated, Rosa Parks was what we're calling this month a radical spirit. By living according to her values and what she stood for, she was living her authentic self. And that was the definition that I gave you last week, and it's up on the wall. Authenticity is living according to your values and standing for the causes that you care about. So your values and what you stand for is really saying, this is who I am. This is the real me. This is authentic me. This is a part of how I'm going to reflect God in the world and how I intend to make the world a better place by living according to my values and standing for the causes I care about. So today I want to talk about something that may sound unusual, but is to talk about God's will. But I want to follow that with a question, what about my will? Because we have been given free will. So does that mean our will doesn't count if we just talk about God's will? So I want to talk about how that all kind of intersects. God's will, our will, because we are encouraged from a young age to become independent, self-reliant, self-sufficient individuals, to have self-will and to have self-determination. But along with those messages, we were also taught some conflicting messages. Don't be too big, don't be too loud, don't take up too much space in the world, don't be too unique, or don't be too much of an individual. You might make people uncomfortable. In my house, it was nobody likes a show off, so just don't stand out. Don't be too much. Well, I doubt that those strong-willed individuals who were independent individuals and strong-willed who fought for civil rights and for equality, I doubt that they were too concerned about being too much of something or making someone uncomfortable. If you look at the lives and the examples of the people we call our spiritual masters and teachers, they were not shy about their message. So we've kind of got something on both hands. On one hand, it's be independent, self-reliant, self-sufficient. Live according to your values and your causes, not someone else's. But on the other hand, we're told, just don't be too much. So it kind of reminds me, though, when my son Ryan was very little, it's probably when he was 2, the terrible 2s, which in his case did not end when he became 3. It just kind of kept going. But when he was 2, he kind of had that, it seemed rebellious at the time, I'll just say it that way, but if I would ask him to do something that he didn't want to do, you could just see the wheels spinning. And he would look me in the eye, kind of stomp his foot and say, no. He was very strong-willed. Exerting his independence and thinking for himself is just what we teach our kids to become. It's just not very attractive in a 2-year-old. But I came to realize that the same quality that caused him to look me in the eye and stomp his foot and say no was the same quality that would cause him to say no to a dangerous stranger or to a harmful situation at some point in his life. So where is the middle ground? Or as the Tao says, the middle way? Where is that middle ground between God's will and my free will? The middle ground between being self-sufficient and self-reliant and independent, but not too much. Well, many of you know, because I've said it before, that I played sports growing up, and I kind of came away with some of these shameless sports analogies to use, comparing sports to life. So when I was playing baseball, there is a term in baseball called the sweet spot. And it's when a batter swings at a pitch and the bat hits the ball in that perfect place. I know exactly where it is. There's about that much room on the bat. And if you hit the ball there, it always results in the most powerful hit. And that is called the sweet spot. So here is the shameless sports analogy. Where is our sweet spot? Where we can still be an individual, where we can still be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and independent, but also walk with spirit into the world with humility and awareness that what we do touches and impacts other people. Where is that sweet spot between those two things? The place that produces the most powerful hit or the most powerful spiritual result, maybe in this case. So one of the things that all the world religions have in common is some form of the golden rule. Treat others the way you wish to be treated yourself, or don't treat others the way you do not want to be treated yourself. So I think we can rephrase that for the context of this lesson and say, whatever good I wish for myself, I wish it for everybody. So I want to experience health and wholeness in my life. So I wish that same health and wholeness for everyone else, not just for myself. Whatever I would not want for someone else, or whatever I would not want for myself, I do not want for someone else. I would not want to feel left out and disenfranchised. So I do not want anyone else to feel left out and disenfranchised. My independence and my will is not meant to prevent anyone else's independence and self-will and freedom of self. My freedom of and self-determination is not more important than someone else's freedom and self-determination. My good should not come at the expense of someone else's good. So this is a question I get a lot, and maybe you've had this question, but it goes something like this. I want to be abundant and prosperous and have a good life, but how do I know if what I want or what I want to do or what I want to be, how do I know that that's just not my own self-will or my ego? How do I know I'm not being selfish or greedy? Is having all of these things for a prosperous life, should I feel guilty about that? Or how do I know if it's God's will or not? So I want to share what our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said, because it cleared up those questions for me once and for all. So Kathy, these are on the next 2 slides. Thank you. So here's what Ernest said about all of that. Free yourself forever from the thought that God may be pleased by a life of sacrifice and struggle, that the world is any better because of your misery, or that righteousness is more perfectly expressed through poverty than it is in abundance. Know that the more abundant good that you bring into your life, the more you perfectly satisfy the divine urge within you. Anything that you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake, if it brings happiness and good into your life and it hurts no one. That leaves what you can have and experience pretty wide open. There is a lot of good and possibilities for you in that statement. Anything you can dream of having or doing, which you can fill in the blank for yourself, that is not too great for you to undertake. You can dream big and reach high for whatever you want. That is satisfying the divine urge, the intention of God for you to have it and to be it. And there's only one restriction: hurt no one. So I think we can go down the rabbit hole here and, say, well, there are over 7 billion people in the world and we're all connected. So I don't know that I'll ever know that I didn't hurt no one out of those 7.5 over 7 billion people. Well, I think for this to be usable and practical, what it's really asking us to do is check our intention. As far as I know, this hurts no one. To the best of my ability to know, this hurts no one. My good is not coming at the expense of others having their good. So I like to look at it this way. God is not just a thought in our mind. God is a way of thinking. God is a thought, comes and goes like all of our other thoughts. God as a way of life becomes a habit, where all of life is God's will, not simply my life and what I want. Where all people are the image of God and not just the people who look like me. And all of us have something to say and contribute. Because it's in listening to others' insights that we each get a closer look and a closer glimpse into the mind of God, when we all have something to say and we all listen. So that's why diverse and inclusive communities who honor everyone and value and hear everyone is so important. Because the mind of God is everywhere and is in everyone. And we collectively speak the mind of God. And that's when peace can become possible, because then we are competing with no one. We aren't climbing over each other or any other person to get our good at their expense, because our intention is to hurt no one. So when the mind of God is honored in everyone, we become just a part of gathering the ideas together that will someday make the world a better place. And that is a really big idea for a world that is absorbed with itself, that is absorbed with its own self-interest and its own self-survival. The idea that everyone is free to pursue what they dream for themselves. And the only restriction is that it hurts no one. So to become open to the rest of the world, open to people of other colors, of other cultures and other countries that have different customs, when we become open to the devout people of other religious traditions, That is when we become inclusive. And it says that I have accepted that I am no longer the center of the universe. That the well-being that God intends for me is the same well-being that God intends for everyone else. And it means that my goals are no obstacles to theirs as they strive to have the good life that they want to share in as well. So if I see all of us and all of humanity as just one big human family, how can I not speak for their needs? How can I not see their value? And how can I not argue for their rights? So I have one last slide to share with you, one last thought. And it says this: God is not just a thought. God is a way of life. Live your life so that the mind of God for the world might actually become the way of life for the world. So let's have our spiritual practice. So I'm going to ask you to do what we always do at the beginning of our spiritual practices here. And that's just to close your eyes and begin going inside. This is a time for us to stop being in our head and to drop down into our heart. To take the songs that have been sung, the words that have been spoken, to let them all sink down inside and let them find a place within us that changes and transforms us from the inside out. And so we just invite you to take a breath and to exhale it and to remember that that breath is the breath of life that you breathe in and out every day, all day long. That the heartbeat that you feel in your chest is the heartbeat of God living in you. And so as I said, this past Thursday, the 10th, was the beginning of Hanukkah. And it is celebrated for 8 days and nights and will end December the 18th. So in Hebrew, the word Hanukkah means dedication. This holiday commemorates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem over 2,100 years ago, after it was seized and dedicated to the worship of the Greek god Zeus. So today, Jews celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days by lighting candles in a menorah every night. So I'm going to light 3 of them for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. One of the traditions is singing the Baruch Atah Adonai as the candles are lit. And that means, blessed are you, God, maker of the universe. At an early age, young Jewish children are taught to say Baruch Atah Adonai for not only happy moments, but also for the challenging moments, so that they learn that God is interwoven and present in all of life's circumstances. Hanukkah is a time for rededication, and this is the deeper meaning for us as well. Hanukkah is a time for rededication, not just at the temple in Jerusalem, but to our own temple, God's home within us. Hanukkah also allows us to rededicate ourselves to being all that we hope and all that we hold as sacred, to be the light of God that shines out into the world. So let's have a few moments of silence. And as we sit in the quiet, ask ourselves, what do we need to rededicate in our lives to make sacred again And where is it in this world where we have light to share as we sit in the quiet?
I need you, you need me. We're all part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive.
If you are looking to rededicate something in your life, you need someone to share a joy or a concern with, remember that we have prayer practitioners for you to reach out to. You can find them by going to our website, cslkc.org/prayer. You can leave a message for them there, filling out an online prayer request card, and your prayers will be kept with them, and it's amazing. I can't even describe the feeling of knowing that there's someone there who will share in that with you in that moment and for the week. It brings such amazing blessings to your life. Please reach out if you need it. Also, there is a 24-hour prayer line every single day of the year, 365 days a year, through the pandemic, through everything. There's a wonderful prayer. It's there. Just reach out, call the number, hear the prayer, and enjoy. This is that time of the service where we need to remind ourselves that our abundance comes to us, but what we also give gives abundance to others. So during this time, I want to remind all of you that there's many, many ways of giving right now to CSL to help us with all of the projects and the programs to keep the building going, to do all of the things that we do. You can look at on the screen, there are numerous ways of apps that you can go to and give, or you can still contact the church office and give through your financial institution if you choose to give a regular monthly gift. You can also send a check if that's your way of doing things, and just send it to the church office here on 39th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. However you give, whatever you share, your abundance, this season and all seasons, to all of you I say, namaste.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
Oh, so I want to just say a word or two about our 30-year anniversary celebration. This, as you know, many of you know, we've been sending out some emails over the last month or two, just to say that our fundraising this year is in a completely different format because we're not meeting in person. We're doing it all by email and virtually, and so we thank you so much for your response to that so far. I just wanted to say, just a few words about how remarkable it is to have been here 30 years, because very few people were here that are here now or were here at the beginning. And CSL started from nothing. I think the first place that this community met was above a comedy club in Westport. They didn't have a chair, a podium, a microphone, a piano, nothing. So that all had to be, figured out. How are you going to do church with that or without that? So I wasn't around then, but Dr. Chris Michaels was. He started all of that 30 years ago, and over time it just grew and grew and grew in steps. And we purchased a building down at 39th Street and down where Roca Salon is now. Outgrew that, and got the funds together to renovate this building and have more space. And, since then we've gotten new signage, we tore down a building, we renovated the whole east end of the building, and all of that from day one till today is all because of you over the last 30 years. So that's why we're celebrating 30 years and still trying to do some kind of fundraising and celebration. So thank you for going along with us and trying something new. We appreciate that very much. So Debbie mentioned prayer support. The one thing that I think there was a slide up, but Kathy, if you would bring that up again, I just want to speak to that. We started what are called personal prayer room Zooms. So the way you can avail yourself of that is that's available from 11 to 11:30 right after we get finished here. What you do is leave this Zoom if you're on Zoom, and find the other Zoom link in your email that you got on Friday or Saturday. There's a separate section of that email that is only for the Zoom room link to receive prayer. Click on that and you get in just the way you do this room. A practitioner will meet you there and have private one-on-one prayer with you. I believe it's also going to be available in the comment lines on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook right now, the link will be there. Someone's going to put it in the chat room on Zoom, so you can find it there. So it's a new thing we're trying, so we hope that you'll try it out and meet a practitioner in the room and let them pray with you and for you. So thank you so much for all the ways you're joining us, all the ways you're supporting us. We appreciate and love you very much. Have a great week. We need to say our closing affirmation. I forgot that almost 2 weeks in a row. So this is our statement of who we believe God sees us to be. So who are you? I am a perfect expression of God, entitled to a life of love and joy. Have a great week.